AITA for screwing up my brother's adoption on purpose? My brother, 32 meters, and his wife, 34F, have fertility issues and chose adoption. Our family is very wealthy, so they went the route of finding mothers directly. The way my brother describes it, they are trading support during the pregnancy for the baby at the end. They found a very sweet woman, Sarah, 19F, who is very poor. Sil messaged her from a post Sarah made on a Buy Nothing group asking for prenatal vitamins. After several meetups, Sarah agreed that she has very few options. She signed paperwork that allows my brother and Sil to pay for and attend her appointments through the pregnancy. Another form of support they offered her was talking to me. Because I went through a teen pregnancy at 17. I'm now 24, and my son is 7. When I first met her, she was amazed that I had managed to keep my son. We've continued to meet up over the last 3 months and have gotten close. About 2 weeks ago, I was hanging out with Sarah after one of her appointments. She was quiet and sad. After some prompting, she told me she was devastated that she couldn't raise her son like I could. She said it was painful to have my brother and Sil in the room discussing her son's future. Here's where I screwed up. I felt awful that Sarah felt trapped into giving up her baby. I never had to consider giving up my son. My parents literally just gave all of us enough money, real estate, etc. that I could never work again and still raise my son with luxuries. So I asked her how much money she thought she needed to keep her son. She was confused by the question. I told her that her son was her son first, and I would help her keep him if she actually wanted to. She seemed shocked and left the restaurant without saying much. 3 days ago, she told me she had done the math. She sent me a thorough spreadsheet, including medical care, rent and food during her recovery, which she only allowed herself 3 weeks for, and very limited baby supplies. The list was very cheap and included a schedule for how she would pay me back. We met up and I told her I would give her everything she asked for, plus significantly more supplies and higher rent for a longer period of time. I also told her I would pay for vocational training, and that she didn't have to pay me back. She was floored and accepted everything except for insisting on a schedule for repayment, which I don't plan on enforcing. She backed out of the adoption that night. My brother and Sil are heartbroken and livid with both of us. She had to block them, and I moved temporarily because they keep showing up to yell at me. I know I went out of my way to stop their adoption, and I feel awful that I hurt them. But I couldn't watch it happen knowing all Sarah needed to keep her son was the small amount of money I could easily give her. TLD or my brother and Sil want to adopt a baby. I kept my son from teenage pregnancy and sympathized when the bio mom wanted to keep her son. I offered to help her do so, which derailed the adoption. They found a very sweet woman, Sarah, 19F, who is very poor. Sil messaged her from a post Sarah made on a Buy Nothing group asking for prenatal vitamins. After several meetups, Sarah agreed that she has very few options. Words fail me to be honest. This hinges on predator-like behavior. Your brother and Sil stalked and exploited a young pregnant woman who was simply asking for vital nutrients for her baby and not seeking to put her child up for eventual adoption. I'm guessing they were also doing this to other vulnerable women in similar circumstances. You are NTA. I commend you for helping as much as you are, especially at the risk of harsh retaliation from your family. Your brother and Sil are very much the though. Edit fixed the formatting. NTA, what they did was predatory. Good on you. Absolutely NTA. They found that poor girl in a neighborhood group looking for prenatal vitamins? That is insanely predatory behavior. They're basically looking for someone too broke to say no to selling their child. There are legit adoption agencies that can facilitate this kind of thing instead of trolling for pregos on FB and then trying to convince them that they don't want their kid. Wow, good for you, Op, for asking the mom what she actually wanted. It sounds like no one did that until you did. I'm sure it's not going to be easy for her in the future. But you of all people know that being a young mother isn't impossible. NTA. Sarah didn't want to give up her son, but felt she had no other option. You, out of the kindness of your heart, gave her another option. Your brother and Sil should go through an adoption agency if they want to adopt a child. From what you have described, what they did sounds super sketchy. Edit. A word. NTA. And this is a perfect example as to why private domestic adoption is so unethical to me. Rich couples taking babies from poor, struggling women after convincing them they have no other options. It's a sick industry with no federal regulation that treats human beings like a product to be bought and profited off of. You absolutely did the right thing. You gave her the resources she needed to keep her child. NTA. Sounds like she didn't really want to give up her baby in the first place. And your brother and Sil targeted her. NTA. You did the right thing hard. Wonder what part of your brother's brain came up with, hey, let's let the poor, knocked up teen meet my rich sister, who was also a knocked up teen, but made it to her happily ever after without abandoning her flesh and blood? Quote, don't worry, there are plenty of knocked up teens to go around, but they might not let you meet the next one. So essentially your brother and Sil found a pregnant teen struggling in poverty and talked her into giving them her baby. NTA. They were preying on that girl's fears. If they want to adopt, they need to find a woman who wants to give up the baby, not try to talk someone into it. NTA. I just about started crying at your generosity. I was in Sarah's shoes, but unfortunately I couldn't carry my pregnancy to full term. But I know she will appreciate you endlessly. NTA. No one is entitled to a baby, especially someone else's. If I understand correctly, they contacted this woman knowing she was financially in need and then pressured her into considering adoption. Then, mom openly expressed sadness and reluctance at her choice. Adoption under these circumstances is unethical and honestly could be very traumatic if the baby ever found out, and of course to mom also. Offering her help was a very generous and good thing to do. At a minimum, she should not have supported the adoption going forward. NTA. If I'm understanding correctly, your brother and Sil are absolutely disgusting. They went looking for posts for people they thought they could manipulate into giving away their baby. Extremely predatory. They are probably searching for other potential victims. Only now you will not be included in the process. Absolutely NTA. Yes, your brother and Sil didn't get the baby they wanted, but Sarah shouldn't give up her baby if she doesn't want to. It kinda sounds like they were pressured her into it to begin with. That's super amazing you are helping Sarah. NTA. What they did was horrible. And I'm pretty sure illegal in a lot of places. They are treating her like an object. You did the right thing. NTA. I don't care if I'm downvoted, but that sounded like a baby purchase. NTA. Op. NTA. Brother and Sil are predatory. Reaching out to random teenagers in online groups who can't even afford prenatal vitamins. They're looking for someone young to take advantage of. They're not entitled to a child just because they want one and someone else is struggling at the moment. You did the right thing. As someone who went through a teen pregnancy and gave my daughter up for adoption, absolutely NTA. I regret my decision every day. If someone would have just said, "You can do this," and gave me a little leg up, I know I could have kept her. Instead, every doctor and social worker I encountered never brought up me keeping her. I was in so deep I felt like I had no other choice. What you did for this girl was absolutely life-saving, and honestly I applaud the hell out of you. NTA, you are a saint. NTA, so much. Your bro and Sil are taking advantage of an incredibly vulnerable young woman. You're amazing for helping her to keep her baby. I wish more people in the world were like you. NTA, I wouldn't say you screwed up their adoption on purpose. In my book that would be if you went, mwahaha. My brother and Sil will never adopt because I will do everything in my power to stop them. If you had talked the woman out of giving up her child simply because it would hurt your brother, that would be a different matter. You sympathized with a person going through an incredibly hard life choice which no one who hasn't been in that situation could appreciate, and offered her an alternative so that she wouldn't feel pressured into making a decision that she may come to regret for the rest of her life. She then chose to do what she felt was best for her and her child. That's not your fault. She could just have easily gone, "Actually nah. It's gonna be hard, but I want my freedom."
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.